Hey everybody, welcome to the Morning Devo with Bo-O. Listening to some cool tunes on this, August 25th. Got some birthdays coming up, which I'm excited about this coming week. One of them being our son, which is awesome as well. Man, it's great. He's going to be, he's getting up there. So that means I'm getting up there, right? And that's just how life goes. You just keep going, keep getting older. And with it, all the trials. And that's for sure. Getting older, my dad always used to say, is not for sissies. But anyway, hope you're doing good. This is the Morning Devo with Bo-O. Bo-O, that's my name. I'm hoping it starts getting cooler out there. I look forward to doing the Devos with a nice cool breeze maybe coming through the window at some point here. I'm kind of feeling it. I'm thinking it's going to switch here pretty soon. We're going to get some mornings that are pretty, but not right now. Anyway, we're in the Psalms. We're in a huge book of songs in the Bible. A lot of collection of music by the Hebrew King David. Not all the Psalms are written by him, but quite a bit of the Psalms are. And usually a Bible, especially a study Bible, will actually tell you who wrote the Psalm. And sometimes it'll even tell you a little bit of what's going on in the background. And which is neat because we went over some historical books, 1st and 2nd Kings. And when we went over those, there was all this history of the kings of Israel and Judah, the split kingdom of Israel. And so, you kind of can read the psalm and go, wow, I know what King David was praying during his running from Saul, or when he was in this area, or when he was hiding out here, that kind of idea, when he repented of this sin, or, you kind of get those ideas, and that's kind of neat. You get the insight into this dude's heart. And not just that, but really a vertical focus of our mind, right? We're getting our mind focused upward, and that's the cool thing about us is human beings that Job talked about, right? Is that we are different from the animals, right? We have this capacity to be able to go upward and worship the Creator, understand the Creator. So we learn from Job just that the ancient world knew everything we do too. I mean, like they were on the ball. And a lot of theology was in the book of Job, and that was very cool. So now we're going to get in Psalm 2 through 4. It says, "Why do the nations conspire and people plot in vain? And the kings of the earth take their stand, and the rulers gather together against the Lord and against his anointed one. Let us break the chains, they say, and throw off their fetters. The one enthroned in heaven laughs, the Lord scoffs at them. Then he rebukes them in his anger and terrifies them in his wrath, saying, I have installed my king on Zion, my holy hill. I will proclaim the decree of the Lord. He said to me, You are my son. Today I have become your father. Ask of me, and I will make the nations your inheritance. The ends of the earth your possession, and you will rule them with an iron scepter, and you will dash them to pieces like pottery. Therefore, you kings, be wise, be warned, you rulers of the earth. Serve the Lord with fear, and rejoice with trembling. Kiss the Son, lest he be angry, and you be destroyed in your way. For his wrath can flare up in a moment. Blessed are those who take refuge in him." A wonderful worship psalm, right? Very interesting. It's an interesting one because it introduces us to a son. Now, we have been waiting for a son for a long time in the Bible, haven't we? From the time of Genesis on, we've been waiting for this deliverer, this son, to come on the scene. We know it's going to come through Judah. We've already gotten that in the Bible. And we know it's going to come, obviously, through a woman, And it's going to be a very special child. And this psalm talks about kind of the nations, all the kingdoms and the kings of the kingdoms, all raging against God. This theme is throughout the Bible. And it goes all the way to the last book of the Bible, the book of Revelation, that has the kings and the kingdoms of the world conspiring against the Almighty. You know, today is a good day for me not to conspire against the Almighty, right? And not to say, hey, let me break the chains, they say, and throw off the fetters. Let me, throw off God. Let me break their chains. Let me break, the idea of God. Let me break the world view that God exists. Let me break the world. That's how, certainly I was raised, is that idea of, man, if everything would be great if we just get rid of God. If we can get rid of God, man, we're good to go. And obviously that didn't, I don't know if that worked with Mao or these other guys like Stalin and Lenin, and the Hitler guy. And I don't think it works fairly well, if you just throw off the deity. Because then you don't really throw off the deity. It just means you make another deity, right? You break the commandment, the first two, right? You start worshiping something other than God, and you make for yourself some kind of image that you bow down to. And that image can come in many, many invisible shapes and sizes, if you get my drift. Many things that we make up. So, you fight for the cause. Go do it. Go fight for the cause. Yet, sometimes that cause, again, is not right. And sometimes that cause becomes something that you actually worship. You actually are so into that it becomes everything to you. And you neglect the greater for the lesser. And sometimes it's only in coming to the greater that you can see clarity in everything. And that makes sense. You got to have the greater. And God is logically speaking, the greater. And so it makes sense that you need to be able to come to God. You can't throw off God. And in order to see everything else clear, you need the sun, right? The sun? The sun lights up everything. And this passage says there's a sun. Cool, right? And it says that he'll be installed on Mount Zion. Very cool. So it's a neat psalm. There's a lot of things to study. There's cross references. You see this in the psalm, a cross references where the Bible has a saying, an area, something that is said, not just in this area, but it's quoted later on down the road. And so we see this in Jesus' baptism, 1,000 years after this time of this psalm, right? Jesus being baptized, this is my son in whom I am well pleased, right? We see this right here. He said to me, you are my son, in the psalm. So cross-reference is just where the word, or not the word so much, but it could be the word, but the sentence, the phrase is used in the future, and it's referring to this. And so you'll see this a lot, again, like I've mentioned, in the Bible, where a lot of areas are cross-referenced. And the New Testament has a lot of cross-references to the Psalms, right? So we'll see that. So it's great when you're reading the New Testament and you read these quotes from the Psalm. You can go to the Psalm and read the Psalm and go, whoa, I get even a better idea of what that meant, what Jesus meant when he said this, or when he was baptized. And when Jesus was baptized and this Psalm was read, we can read it and go, oh gosh, man, when Jesus was baptizing, the Father was saying, this is the anointed one, right? Remember, we saw that in the Psalm, Psalm 2. This is where the term Messiah comes, right? And so verse 2 of Psalm 2, the anointed one. People are going to go against the anointed one. Now, this is the first time I think I can think of in the Bible where we know that the deliverer, the Son, is going to actually, people are going to be against him. And that's a shocker. Huh. Hey, we've been waiting for the Anointed One, but now, man, the Anointed One is... So everybody's going to be against the Anointed One? That's crazy. But it says here, the rulers gathered together, in verse 2, against the Lord and against his Anointed One, his Messiah, right? It's where we get the word Christ, right? So against his Christ, Jesus Messiah, Jesus Christ. Wow. Man. Now this is 1,000 years before Jesus. So Psalm 2 is one that's very significant, but it really just devotion-wise, it's one where we go, hey, let's not throw off God. So Psalm 3 goes in, O Lord, how many are my foes? How many rise up against me? Many are saying of me, God will not deliver him. Many are saying, God will not deliver him. Hey, remember what they said to Jesus on the cross? Hey, if this is the Lord's Son, if this is the Anointed One, isn't God going to deliver him? You see all these cross references, New Testament into the Psalms, yeah. So it starts off that way. And then it says, verse 3, but you are a shield about me, O Lord. You bestow glory on me and lift up my head. Oh, isn't that cool? God bestows glory on you. He lifts up your head. How do I shine? What do I shine? Do I radiate, or radiate? Yeah, the love of God. Does that seem through me? The love of God, the glory, the beauty, right? The value of God, or what does come out of me? What is the thing that reeks out of me? Is it fear? Is it insecurity? Is it stress? What does come out of me? Something to think about, right? But I love this. But thou, O Lord, is a shield about me. You're my glory. You're the, lifter of my head. You're the one. I rise up in the morning. I lift up my head, right? Because the Lord is with me, right? You are a shield. Isn't that cool? I love that picture. You are a shield around me. What's a shield around me all about? Well, think of it. Protection, right? You are my protector. You are the one that will lift me up. Sounds like the time where Jesus is hanging out with that woman who's caught in adultery. Do you think she was thinking, thou, Lord, are a shield about me? You're my glory. You're the lifter of my head. In that moment, no one else was going to be there to lift up her head. No one was going to be there for her, right? In her situation, no one was going to be a protector for her. But the Lord is our protector. He's the one who's going to see us home. That's beautiful. To the Lord I cry aloud, and he answered me from his holy hill. That Mount Zion maybe come up again, right? This place called Zion. Idea of Jerusalem. Idea of the holy hill, the holy mountain. The place of worship, right? Zion. And it says, the Lord I cry aloud, and he answers me on this holy hill. I lie down and sleep and wake again because the Lord sustains me. He's with me. He's my shield. He's going to give me rest. I will not fear the tens of thousands drawn up against me on every side. Wow, tens of thousands. So many enemies that come against us in our life, right? So many things that battle against us in our walk with God. So many things that come against our faith. But, just reminding ourselves that God is our shield. He is the protector. He's the one who calms my soul. He's the one that gives me sleep, right? Helps me with my anxiety. Thinking about that I'm okay in God. That God is got me. He will see me to that place, to that finish line. That can be such a beautiful comfort. Arise, O Lord, deliver me, O my God. Strike all my enemies on the jaw. Break the teeth of the wicked. From the Lord comes deliverance. May your blessing be on your people. Oh man, deliverance, right? Helping out with our enemies, striking the enemies. God, you do a work. I'm powerless to do it, but you can do it. So I love that idea. The Lord's our shield. The Lord's the one who gives us rest. The Lord's the one, this kind of idea. This is the worship of the psalm. right? This is the kind of direction as God, you be that protector for us. And wow, what a great place to just settle our hearts, especially in a morning, right? Where we don't know what a day will bring. But we know there'll be stressful times. We know there's going to be times of anxiety. But just remembering that psalm, oh man, Lord, you are, the lifter of my head. You are my protector. You're the one who helps me sleep. You're the one who delivers me, right? And my great deliverer. So Psalm 4 says, answer me when I call to you, oh, my righteous God. I love that. Righteous God. God's righteous. And he says, give me relief from my distress. So true. We need relief from our distress. Be merciful to me and hear my prayer. Love that. Come to God with mercy, needing mercy. Do you come to God needing mercy? Or do you think God, deserves to do everything you're asking? Or do you understand that you really need mercy? How long, oh humans, will you turn my glory into shame? That's such a powerful statement. Turning the glory of God into shame. Doesn't sound like doing the right thing, right? Turning God's glory, something that should be beautiful, glorious, but using it wrong, distorting it. How many times have us humans took what is good and we've bent it and made it evil? The bending of the good, right? Gosh, we have done a tremendous job of bending that which is good with almost every area of life. I think probably every area. And it says, how long will you love delusions and seek false gods? That's kind of our lot in life, right? We definitely seek false gods. And we love delusions. We love things that aren't even really true, but we're in this delusion. We're in this kind of fantasy. Crazy, right? But so true. Am I living in reality today? Do I have a good assessment of where I'm at? Or I just live in delusions, Would I want honesty in my relationships and honesty in my marriage, etc.? Or would I rather live in a delusion, thinking everything's fine, because it helps my heart not be anxious, And that's really what it's about. It's about my heart, and it's about my control, right? Instead of really having a clear understanding of where I lack, where I need to get better, how to work on myself, these kind of things. How long do we love these delusions and seek false gods? Know that the Lord has set apart, sanctified, by the way. That's the idea, set apart. The godly for himself. The Lord will hear when I call to him. Neat. The one who comes to God is godly, right? The one who's coming to God, not coming to the statue, not coming to this other thing, not coming to that thing, not coming to that cause, not coming to this, not coming to that, but coming to the Lord. That's godly. And your anger do not sin. When you are on your bed, search your hearts and be silent. What a great idea this morning, right? In my anger, let me not sin. In my anger, let me not sin. When I'm on the quiet place, the bed, search your heart and be silent. Oh, it's that idea of just looking within. Looking at where you're at. Again, assessing yourself. I'm not making up these terms. These things are right out of the Bible. Search your heart and be silent. Yeah, search your heart. Not only is God going to search your heart at some point, but you need to, search your heart. Where am I at? Offer right sacrifices and trust in the Lord. Right? Do the right thing. Trust in the Lord. Many are asking, who can show us any good? Let the light of your face shine upon us, O Lord. So many ask, right? Who can show us any good? Is there any good? Is there anything going on good? But he says, let your light shine upon us, O Lord. For you have filled my heart with greater joy. Where am I going for my joy? Maybe there's greater joy in the infinite deity, right? Maybe there's an infinite supply of joy. And that's where I need to go. Maybe out of our hearts will be that flowing of living water, right? That greater joy that Jesus talked about in John chapter 4. So, that's I like that part of the psalm. That's great. I think that's a very cool one. And then it says, for you have filled my heart with greater joy than when the grain and the new wine abound. Hey, more than even all my material goods, all the food, all the good choice stuff that I got. God's joy is the best. I will lie down and sleep in peace, for you alone, O Lord, make me dwell in safety. Oh, it goes back to that idea of dwelling in safety, dwelling with God, right? God being your everything. You get the idea of that in these 3 Psalms. God being our everything. The first one is about God and his anointed. Then you have God is our shield. And then you have this one, right? That, oh man, why do our hearts turn so away from God all the time when he can be that source of peace, right? And that source of joy in our life. But we are so finicky. We tend to, get squirrely. And so these are the songs. These are songs. These are lyrics. And that's just beautiful. It kind of has great truths in it. It has wonderful emotional components to it, contemplative components to it, reflective, all these things like this that are in there. And, again, if we just look at those big pictures in these Psalms, we can really walk away in a day, or throughout the day and really hone in on, hey, God, are you my shield? Are you my, the one who is my stability? Are you my peace? Am I really, doing a good assessment of myself when times are quiet? Am I able to just settle my heart and think about what I'm doing and how I'm doing it? Am I coming to you for joy? Is my joy wrapped up in, that latest thing that I buy or this or that? Do I find myself, dealing with anxiety properly? There's so many good things that come out of these Psalms. It's just beautifully applicable for our lives. So maybe today in the Devos, just focus on these Psalms 2 through 4. And so good stuff. I'm going to do that as well. You guys enjoy the weekend, and we'll catch you hopefully on the flip side, right? I get to play some music Saturday, tomorrow night, 6 to 8 o'clock p.m. at the Way of Being Coffee Shop in Oracle, Arizona. That's up north, about 30 miles from me. Maybe not that far, but a neat little coffee shop up there. It's going to be fun. Me and a friend, Dave Robson, most of you know, I'm sure, are going to be up there just doing some guitar instrumentals. It's going to be fun. So you guys take care. Bye-bye.